lost all the mile markers. A few weeks ago, my twin brother and I randomly decided we wanted to go kayak camp in the Everglades and stay on one of the chickees. We picked Hells Bay as our chickie, and people call it Hells Bay because it's actual hell to get to. We didn't have any supplies or kayaks, so we went shopping the night before and we got kayaks off Facebook Marketplace from this older couple, and we left the next morning at like 3:30 in the morning. We had about a 3-hour drive down to the Everglades, and the deal with my brother was if he could sleep during the ride, that he had to load the kayaks, and our AC in our dad's truck ended up breaking, so we were absolutely sweating on the way there. We went into the information center, and the guy was kind of annoyed with me because I had no clue where we were supposed to go, but he eventually told us and directed us to the little pull-off where we got in the water. And this is kind of where we were like, oh shit, what are we doing? We don't know where we're supposed to go. All we knew is we were supposed to be following these mile markers, and they're little long PVC pipes that are stuck in the ground, and you just keep following them through the mangroves. Once we got in the water, I was just stressing that there was going to be alligators because the guy at the information office said that there was a gator nest near where we were staying, and I was low-key freaking out. So our first task was just to find a mile marker. So we kept going. This is what the mile markers look like. Just little pipes stuck in the ground, and there were so many missing. Like a lot of them had blown away or were sunken, tipped over. So half the time we were like, do we go left? Do we go right? I felt like we were in a mangrove corn maze. So half the time we were just praying we were going the right way. I feel like they all kind of lead the same way. We had a compass and we just knew what direction we had to go in. So we kept just hoping for the best, honestly.
We're lost, so.
This is where things started to take a turn. We got out in open water and the wind started picking up, and we lost the mile markers because we were out in the open. So it kept going from big open pools to small, and we'd have to go around these big openings to find the small openings. But there were no mile markers, so we just kept guessing and hoping, and we had no sense of direction, but we found another chickie that wasn't ours, so this is when we were kinda like, "Okay, we're going in the right direction," but our chickie was way past this one. But we eventually found it, like, miles and hours later, and this is when I was like, "We're gonna see the gator. There's a gator's nest." We never saw the gator's nest. I don't even know if it was there, if he was trying to scare us from not going on the trip. But when we got there, we pulled our kayaks up, kind of checked out the dock, and this is when it started getting so windy. All of our stuff was blowing away. We couldn't set up the tent. All of my food blew in the water, and I had to try and get it. It was an absolute shit show, and just the wind pounding in our ears was so uncomfortable. And we were just kind of like, oh shit, like we're 18 whatever miles from shore. I don't think it was actually that far. The only place of cover we had was the porta potty, so we started making our food in the porta potty, which is so gross. Luckily, the porta potty was pretty clean, but we kind of hit an all-time low. My hair was just tingling from the wind, so I was trying to find a way for it not to be a rat's nest. This is me going in and trying to get my food back because at this point all my food is soiled. I can't eat it. I think the only thing I had left was ramen. So we really hit a low. We hit a low at this point, and making ramen in the wind was rough.
Okay, we have to go inside the porta potty. So we're in the Everglades kayaking, and we're staying on this little chickie. I'll show you. Can you see it? Can you see it? And it's insanely windy, and all our stuff is blowing in the water, and we have to go and retrieve it, and we can't even put the tent up or the Eno. So we're making our food in the porta potty, and we're like 10 miles from shore, so. It's so hot.
Once we finally made our food, we just kind of were praying the wind would die down, and we just laid there and accepted defeat. We couldn't play cards, we couldn't really do anything because it was so windy. So we just like read our books out loud to each other for a little bit, watched the sunset, took some pictures, and got in our sleeping bags and just waited out the wind and hoped that tomorrow morning wouldn't be as windy and that it would calm down. There's hair in my mouth. Luckily, the wind died down and I ended up sleeping like a baby. And we woke up pretty early with the sunrise so we could get a head start back and hopefully miss the wind again because we were going to be going against the current, which I was really nervous for. So I was like, the earlier we start, the less current we'll have and we won't be fighting against it the whole time. So the way back, we were completely attacked by horseflies the whole time. We ended up having to fight the current and we ran out of food. So my brother and I just went mute and we were so happy to be back. And the only thing we had in the car to eat was pineapple chunks. So this is us eating the only food we have left, which is so sad. So once we got to the car, my brother loaded up the kayaks and we literally hightailed it as fast as we could to Cane's because all I wanted in my body was the three-finger meal at Cane's. That's all I wanted. And we had to put like fake air conditioning, like from the can, into my dad's truck because we were melting. In the Florida humidity, we were melting on the way back. So we stopped and did that. We got coffee. Dawson got ice cream so we could make it back. And I hosed down my kayak and then slept for a whole day.